Hello guys, good evening everyone. Hope you are enjoying at home. Great to see everyone joining for this session, and I know that you will be amazed to hear about this theme, which is very unique, one of my personal favorite, and I've been doing work on this theme since 15 years now. So maybe first time 2005, I started looking at this style of photography, and I will take you through the journey, of course. And how it came to my mind is very important to share with you. As you see, because of lockdown, we are just living from our home with limited food stuff. We are not wearing our favorite shoes anymore. Our cars are just lined up, and no fuel is required because we are just locked down and we are at home. So this minimal style of living which we are doing is the similar thing which we are talking about in photography. So I'll take you to the history of this minimalism. It is when in 50s and 60s in America, a lot of painters, sculptors, makers, and photographers, they started trying this art form with very less number of elements in their artwork, and so that the notice would be there on first go. You will see what is happening in the pictures or the painting or the sculpture. Very minimal background, and the mood is very subtle, you can say. Many times because of lighting you can create that, and most of the time it is the content of the image which creates that minimal mood in the images. So very important theme for all fine art photographers, I will say. And only thing is, to pursue this, you have to be very observant. So when we go out on street, we need to observe each and everything around and then visualize through the lens, and you can make out those compositions. I hope you are enjoying reading of the books as well in the lockdown. And now lockdown 4 would be there, so let's see what is allowed in the 4 and what are the restrictions area. So we'll certainly do photography in this season now, and let me take you to the very first of our thing, which is the theme would be less is more. I'll off the caption for a while, then we will again see you with the captions. So when we talk less is more, so it means very subtle pictures, very less props should be there in the images, right? So let me take you to one of the series of pictures. So this is in street when we go out and we are shooting people, we are shooting portrait, we are shooting architecture with people, and then when we find that there are some times where we need to concentrate more on something very universal and straightforward. So I took this picture in Pushkar, and this is just minimal things in this, and the caption given by me to this picture was bell to God. So it looks like this bell is for the God, right? So after traveling to the same place again, next following year, I found this composition. So that time, in my minimal composition, the ohm in between is being added, and then Wi-Fi zone possible here is also added, right? So this is how you travel to a same place with a different story, and then let's see the three of them together, right? So three images, same wall, taken 3 different years maybe. So first one is my personal favorite because it's like very very minimal, less elements and more story. But then, so God also wants Wi-Fi. So the second picture, the Wi-Fi is being added, right? And then the third is too busy, right? So this, I just wanted to show you the comparison, how you can see these set of pictures, and you can just see how your theme fit into it. Then the next one is like, this is the bell to God again. Just a bell hanging somewhere in the streets of Jaisalmer, and you are just taking the shot without seeing the larger canvas of the street. So you are focusing yourself very very straightforward, and then the work is done. Or something just door and like the wall together in Varanasi, and Ganesha on the right, and the colors are beautifully placed, and no people at all in these set of pictures, right? So hope you guys are enjoying this style, right? Okay, let me go to the next one. So now this is the one which came into my mind 2005. So almost 15 years back, and of course with a digital camera. And all these set of pictures which we are discussing right now, they are not black and white, okay? They are color, essentially color or less color, or maybe the dominant color is just one singular color in the background. So this was like conceived by the idea at Yamuna Ghat in Delhi, like just a green rope and a pajama hanging, and the arch, the old arch, on a simple white background. This picture gave me that idea to do some fine art style images 15 years back. So I'm constantly working on this and doing it, pursuing it every time when I go out on the street. So let's see the one here. This was shot in Mumbai. Again, very very charming wall with 3 striped colors and a small Jesus on the wall. So when you go out on the street, you will find lot of happening and lot of these small things which we need to carry them when we are shooting. So then again, simplifying the shot, just a standard shot of a wall. This is a kitchen window, and you can see by the utensils that this is a scene of a old Jodhpur, blue city. And then these type of shots, like these very very small details, like we call them attention to detail. So whenever we are seeing these kind of pictures, so attention to detail is the style we are looking at. The focus is just sharp on the subject, right? So in this situation, we are using maybe a long telephoto lens or a telephoto lens to shoot these kind of subjects, where the subject is very very limited in the frame, and more attention is on the center of the subject. Like the other picture is coming up is just a telephone booth in Goa, and again the style is very, very unique, and the yellow and blue color, just two colors in the picture, and making it more vibrant. Or now adding people into it, like just a simple story, the picture, where you are thinking from the heart, like what I need to take in this image is just the reflection, nothing else, just the black background around, so that it is not very, very confusing. So you are playing with the background, you are just throwing the colors on your subject, and it's again a tele shot. Like, so normally when I go out on street, maybe the first thing is your 24-70 lens is ideal for all your photography. And for anything, you need to have a small perspective, small vision. Then 85 is the lens, which is very, very important. So if I take two bodies, one with 24-70 and the other with 85 millimeter, so I know that my frames are more or less more constructed, and not like too much wide like 16-35. So it gives me that control over my compositions. I can be like more narrow on the pictures. So see the other one coming up, the most simplistic picture from the series, where again two colors, but then background is just plain wooden door, early morning at Varanasi, and it's like truly spiritual, the image. So less is more. We always say in fine art that we don't have to use so many props in the pictures, not too many one. So just break them and make compositions work. Again on the series, so we are orthodox people, and we are superstitious. So we see these kind of things, and we keep them also in our home and shops and everywhere around. So it's just a plain red background and some nails with shadows, right? So now when we talk about like in people photography, like singular color, if we talk like you are shooting suppose Holi, and that Holi is full of colors, but then you need to bring out some minimalistic image from there, and you need to use that craft of using minimal elements or colors. So I thought just to use one singular color in the image, and this shot was conceived, right? So what happened in this, during the Samaj Kirtan, they were just singing the ballad, and they were just turned, the whole lot was turned into red for a while, just for fraction of a second. So I thought maybe this could be a movement to show just a singular color of Holi, and they were reading also some songs, some you can say notes of the songs. So you can see that in the center is one white man reading with a white sheet. So it looks so dramatic using a singular color. Or maybe just see, now Durga Puja is supposed to be again very, very fancy, and Sindoor Khela is very colorful occasion. So again I approached there and I was shooting. So I thought to do just a very, very uniform singular color background. So I did this shot there. And then composition kept is just very, very unique, like beyond thirds, two of the ladies were kept, and the space on one side to give the style and the motion where they are moving. So this was one. Or when you talk about Barsana Holi, which is the Latmar Holi, and too much things happening everywhere. So now you need to see, okay, my subject is just a lady with a veil, long veil, and a stick in the hand, and beautiful old looking blue door behind. And then these composition also works very good. These are known as long compositions, like a panorama, because when you see both the side, the street is not really very shabby, and you want to keep your subject very, very refined. So this cropping I have done especially for this picture, and the most simplistic picture from my Barsana series. You can see this. So the other picture which is coming next is again a very, very vibrant chili fields near Jodhpur, and the beauty is again a singular style of colors all around with people, and showing that minimalistic approach. And good that lady in this is not wearing yellow, because if it would be wearing a yellow or a green, then it would be too powerful to be a minimalistic image. So because the picture is all reds, hues of reds and pinks, so it goes into a style of a composition where we say it's a minimalism style of the image. And of course it's a street people oriented image, right? And many pictures when we see, when we are shooting, we shoot it with our heart, because they look so symbolic, and it represents so much story into it. Like just a simple shot taken with a 85mm from a long distance, and the lady is like performing Chhat Puja in Delhi Yamuna, and these froth which you can see all around are not snow, by the way, they are polluted Yamuna, and these are all chemical waste from the industries around, and just the color is just subtle red, and all around is grey, deep grey with whites, and just minimal, no more figures, just single lady. And so these pictures are made from the heart, you can say. Or maybe some pictures are very special, they are just out of the box, so very, very special, very unique. And just check out the next one. So now in this you can see the beautiful Taj in the background with a very, very soft misty winter light, and in the foreground kingfisher sitting on a wire, and light was falling on kingfisher, and you can feel the colors, those blue turquoise color also. So whenever we are shooting minimal, so it means our approach need to be not really a wide angle lens, we need to narrow our vision. So the best exercise we can do for narrowing our vision is, whenever we go out, we just do a frame like this, and whenever the frame is closer to the eye, so whatever it sees through the frame is a telephoto composition. So you can always visualize, okay, this composition is working, how much more or less, right? And when we go beyond here, so you will have a less coverage area, and you go closer to the eye, it's more wide angle. So the beauty is you can just see on the location how it is going to be in your pictures if your camera is not ready that time. So we prefer that one prime lens should be there with the camera ready, so that whenever there are lines and doors, so it has to be very, very classy shot, right? So see it again. So Taj is beautiful as it is, but then just a hint of a foreground where your viewer is getting the attention is what is important. Now this was in Doki, and it's in Meghalaya. We just climb over a bridge, and from that it's an overhead shot, and it is a hanging bridge, so it moves very fast, and sometimes it is a little bit tricky to be there shooting, and a lot of boats are there. They are doing fishing normally there, and the beauty of these water is these are shallow water, so you can see those stones and a little bit of underwater life also. So with a polarizer, if you take this picture, you will have more vivid reflections. And this was taken, and the boat was kept diagonally to justify the diagonal composition. And of course, again, a uniform singular green background all around, giving the minimal touch to the image. Or something like this. Now you are, sometimes photographer is lucky, you are shooting and mother and son both are wearing same color, so there is no distraction of color at all, and the waves are also very, very uniform. They are like no other green or brown in around, or water is not blue. So again, a very, very peaceful early morning shot from Puri, Odisha. And this is again one of my favorite minimalistic image where they are kept like that, very, very less props. Or something like this in Varanasi early morning when the light is very subtle and you will have less crowd, less people. So the key is when we go out in very, very busy towns, and you want to pursue minimalism photography, so the best way is to go there early morning, you start your day at 5 a.m. or before 5 a.m. and with less props, with less people, you can design your compositions and they look very good. So this is one from Taj Mahal. Again, the shot is conceived from the heart. I was using a RX1 Sony camera, which is a full frame compact camera, very, very compact. The lens is fixed 35mm f2 and very, very fast lens f2, and it's a Zeiss lens, very sharp, very small looking camera. And I was shooting this, I just saw this man there and the Taj in the background. So I just ran and reached him and just asked him hi, just hi, so that he will look at me, and the picture is like just he's looking and the picture is done. Not really a frontal but a 3/4 one, and the focus is bang on his eyes, and then his headgear is doing so much wonder to the image. So this is how when we go out on street and that background is simplified already, so it's a scope of creating a minimal style of the composition, so then we do that. Or something like this, the monk sitting with his pet in McLeodganj area, and this was in early morning time, and he was just resting after the walk, and this was early winter shot, little warm light. Now when we are on street and we see like the colors are very, very vivid, and lot of lines and shapes, triangles and stuff is available, and just then we need a subject to match that. So because there are two ways on street photography. One is you find the element first, and then you grab along with the background, and you got the movement. The second is you find the background and you wait for the subject to come into that background, between you and your background. So I took that way out. I saw the shutter was so beautiful, and the sadhu was sitting already there, and I saw from a distance, and I know that I need to do the shot just frontal. I can't take it from the side. So I kept my camera ready and reached just bang on the center and composed this sadhu with this diagonal line, making two half triangles, and this was done. See the full screen. Now this is very, very minimal but colorful. So my idea of minimalism is it has to have color. I will not be shooting minimal in a black and white way, because black and white way is a easy way. When you mute the colors, then life becomes easy. So my way is I will do with the color, but at the same time I will perform the minimalism photography. So again, see again from Pushkar Lake. So lady praying and with the holy water from Lake Pushkar, and the duck on the other side. So again, both are similar whites, the shades of white, and with a uniform background. So for me, this is what is minimalism for photography. Now, every location when we go, so the idea is to bring least elements in the shot. So if you see the Kutch shot, again, Kutch is full of people and camel, but then in this picture, one camel, one man, and the run of Kutch, seamless run of Kutch can be seen. Shot from Jodhpur, just a plain wall with a texture, windows, doors, and a scooty standing below. Street style shot with minimalistic approach, or something like this, just a back door of a restaurant window, and again very, very subtle colors. So now there are two ways to do minimal photography. One, you find these kind of locations where the colors are just muted, or you find some very, very vivid windows and doors on the other side like this, but the man is wearing just subtle clothes like the walls, the color of the walls. So beauty of this image is it's a reverse style of composition, where instead of giving space on the right, the space was left on left hand side, just to give relief to window and the door. So that brings a unique composition also with minimal attire to this image. Or just a simple shot from arch and an old chair and a window. So they give so much character to the city. So I have just on for the comments, so that I can see your reactions and your queries on the images so far we have discussed. We have many more to come, but I think we need to know how things are going in your brain, because my last workshop was on black and white, and there was a thought came into our mind that brain may frame. So brain may frame is like you have to make frame in your brain when you are shooting. So aspect ratio. Okay, I'll just see. Okay, so aspect ratio for me, it's like very simple theory. I go by the composition, the picture. All our cameras, 35 millimeters, they shoot 3:2, right? So it doesn't mean that you need to present the picture always 3:2. Sometimes you find that image is looking good in square, just do a square composition. And if you find that your sides are very clumsy, you need to crop them, make it a strip type of a composition, like a tall image, you can do that also. So for me also, you will find my picture would have all styles of composition. Maybe sometimes just 4/3, most of the time 2/3. And I do a lot of verticals as well. I love shooting verticals along with the horizontal images. So you will find them also. It's a good query that how to keep the ratio. And please save the video. Okay, we'll save the video. Don't worry. And other interesting update I need to give you, like a lot of people are already migrated to mirrorless cameras, and so we are. And so the there was a issue in people's brain that if you are using a mirrorless camera and you are changing the lens, so the dust goes in the sensor, and a lot of dust specks can be seen when we are shooting on a small aperture. That's true. So many times every time we tell in the workshops also to make your camera upside down while changing the lens. Like if you are changing the lens, so do it like this, so that dust won't settle on the sensor. That is the best way to do in any digital camera. Even DSLRs need to do like this only. You are not supposed to change the lenses like this. So one beautiful thing is one of my newer camera, A9 Mark II, Sony Alpha. And the beauty of this camera is there is a firmware update after like before a few days it came and when you remove the lens, the shutter comes to keep the dust away from the sensor. So you can see there is no sensor visible when you are changing the lens. So there is an option in the menu where you can just so I have done it so that every time when I switch off and I just change my lens, so when I'm shooting it is on, like the camera is working and you can feel like sensor is producing the image. And when I just switch off and change, then there is a shutter, right? So this is the brilliant thing for mirrorless cameras. Like I hope all mirrorless cameras will come with this feature in the future. So now again, Holi is so fascinating. So the last shot from Holi was so brilliant. It was just end of the day and everyone was leaving the Nand Baba temple, and end of Holi, 5:30 p.m. around 5:30 p.m. and this was the shot. Now the beauty is the whole police team want us to go back out from the temple, and they were just lined up in a uniform sun setting background with this beautiful arch dome from Nandgaon. And so I just saw, and I thought, oh, this could be the composition which will be very strong, and it's very important. So I just quickly grabbed 2-3 shots, and the arrangement, the separation, everything worked very good in this image. You can see also. Some pictures are very close to your heart because when you are shooting, that I am doing something very different, from the composition side, or the element, or you are just simplifying the images. So less is more, as we said. So you can see the beauty of this sadhu, one of the most famous sadhu from Varanasi, most short sadhu you can say, and the sense of Ganges, the Ghat, evening is there, but in a very very minimal, subtle way. You can feel those starking colors, saffron color, but still it's a subtle late evening shot, very very minimal. So for me, this is minimalism in my photography. So I hope you will agree with this image. So it's not just the walls which make your pictures minimal, it's people with the surroundings, but less props gives you that image. So again, the next one is from Kumbh, and again I found the sadhu with a simplified background. Again, a singular color background and a close-up of the sadhu, just a tight shot without taking the whole atmosphere. I told you that since 2005, I'm cultivating my vision for these kind of shots, these kind of stylish images, which can be a fine art image or just a style of my minimalism photography. So now plain white subtle background and a man with just little bit of color, yellow, green, white, and just giving some more space to the image, not really too tight. So my point is, when we are shooting minimal style of compositions, so do bracketing in focal length as well. You don't have to take just the head like this, the previous picture, it's only head, right? But then if you see this picture is again of outdoor scenario where a lot of space is there, but in this shot now it's more confined, right? But then it's 3/4 of the man and the leaf, the painting on above, they look good. So this is how we need to compose it. Now again, it's the squarish composition here, because when I was doing this cropping while editing, I thought maybe right, left was a little boring, and one figure there and or on the right, it was a little boring for me. So I thought maybe I need a shot which shows that end of the Kumbh Mela. When you see end of the Kumbh is like around after taking the holy dip, this toy seller, the young guy is moving, and no sadhu, no devotees all around. So sometimes it's difficult to find these kind of movement in the chaotic Kumbh. So for me, this is the minimal style of my Kumbh, right? Again, one very dramatic picture with colors, like you can feel those colors. Again, very special to me, like I told you, some pictures are taken by the heart. You are feeling very very satisfied when you are composing that and you are seeing it in the viewfinder. So this is one, holy dip, early morning in Varanasi, and just the shade of the other boats in the water. And the key of taking these is the exposures need to be very very perfect. You can't overexpose, you can't afford to overexpose this picture, because when you overexpose this picture, then this orange and the face and the tint will lost the beauty. So see again this shot, so very very rich looking shot and vivid composition. So again, special series of pictures is like out of the box, is again coming up from Pushkar. And Pushkar, when I say Pushkar, maybe you will see turban and camel and mustaches in your mind. You can make those pictures in your mind, right? So but then for my Pushkar, it is a very very different Pushkar, taken with a 250mm lens. It is a special Minolta old lens, very very small, but then 250 telephoto. So I mounted on my 7 camera, Alpha 7R, and this picture was done from a distance. So then you will see the mood of Pushkar, but no mustaches, no faces, just the turban, backlit camel, and very very subtle composition. So this is what is for me is simplification of the images by using very very less prop, right? I hope you guys are enjoying this collection, because these are really close to my heart, and whenever I am out and shooting wide angle compositions and portraits, in between I find time to satisfy my inner self by taking these kind of images, and they look very appealing to me, and I would like to give everyone assignment also, like every time we do that in every live. So assignment is you need to dig out minimalistic compositions from your archives, from your stock, or if you find time and go out with your camera, shoot some, and you can hashtag minimalism, DP, right? And I will love to feature them on my Insta story, and let's see how you see your archives in a minimal manner or a minimal vision, right? So that would be a fun exercise for everyone, right? So I'm taking more images before we leave, right? So you know that lockdown is happening, and we are currently on the the last segment of lockdown 3. So this picture was taken in Old Delhi. Again, squarish style of a composition was planned later while editing, and simple red door and yellow walls and 3 locks. So they symbolize so much relevance to the current scenario of lockdown 3.0. So you will have 3 locks. So 3-4 images are coming next to each other, and they are just again a example of street with less distracting background. So my point is the background should not be distracting, or in background the element should not be distracting when we talk minimalism, right? So to be simplifying images, like to make simplified images, one need to be very very careful that okay, I need only 3 or 4 people in the shot, I don't want 6 or 8. So you need to see through the viewfinder and aim it. By the time you realize okay, I got my shot like this, I did it in Meghalaya. So this was a shot where I found that it's all overcast and it making the background appealing and white, and no more distraction or clutter showing, and just a family on the right hand side, making it so beautiful because the elements are not scattered in the image, they are just 3 here and nothing on the other side, giving the relief. It's what is minimalism here, or something like this. So I was there in Mumbai and wanted to shoot Gateway of India, and I realized okay, some festival is happening, some Air Force Day was celebrating inside, and everything was covered. But then I got this shot which is better than showing the Gateway of India like in a routine manner. So change in the pace is always important for fine art style of image or any form of photography. So this is one from Mumbai, and the other coming up from Bhutan. So again, just 2 monks and the sky, Buddha in the center, minimalist style of composition, 2 colors, 3 colors in the picture, uniform, no distracting elements around, right? So these are pictures which are so much beautiful. And okay, minimalism DP, okay, hashtag, okay, done. We can tag also this hashtag, is it? We can do pin comment. Okay, I have pinned this comment so that you all can note this hashtag and maybe dig your data, and so that we can also see how. One is, when you are shooting, you decide that this picture is minimalism. The other is when you are out and you are, and the one is like you are inside your home and digging out your stock pictures and library, and you find, okay, oh, this picture is very subtle, this will go in a minimalism style of composition. So you bring out those, you edit them, and then you find that these are better than the normal images. So, right, so good to see everyone here. Very nice to see old friends, old students. Very nice, very nice. Good. So thank you for your comments also. So by seeing comments, you get energy, okay. And when you off the comment, you see the energetic images, right? So again, the other one coming up is very, very important. And I love shooting streets with, I told you, the 85 1.4 G Master, one of my favorite, and 135 1.8 is also one of my favorite. So this is the older lens, so most of my work is with this lens. So the next image coming up is just the beauty of yoga, the foreign lady performing yoga early morning, and the picture looks so beautiful just because of using the shallow depth of field. So mostly when people go out in street, so they find that 11 aperture is working very good in the bright light, or 8 aperture working very good. So then you get depth of field, huge depth of field, everything is in sharp focus, and you lose many times attention to your image. So the next image coming up is, right, so in this, the lady performing early morning yoga, you can feel the ghats behind, but then very, very subtle background, because everything is like in shallow depth of field. So you will find beauty of light, play of light, and the use of telephoto lens, which is amazing in the shot. Or something like this from the boat in Varanasi. You are in the boat and you are shooting Varanasi all around, and you just turn behind and saw, oh, this is a painting style of a shot, and again, very, very simple already. You need to just decide, okay, my composition is just this part of the boat, not the whole boat, not other. And the horizon, I don't need to show the horizon there, because I need to have a subtle style of a composition, very, very simplified. So this was done in that thought. So even if you are taking a portrait from Holi, but then the background behind is just not clashing with your subject, and Jai Shri Radha Krishan is so beautiful written at the back of the wall, like maybe it's look more like an advertising shot, where you have designed a wall and the model is kept there and with all the makeup and stuff. But this is how we see images when we are out on the street. And similarly, this I got a shot like they were just chit-chatting at Mehrangarh Fort, Jodhpur, and the wall was about kind of a uniform brick wall, and no more people around in that moment, and ladies holding two purses, and these are from Brahm Kumari spiritual field, like, so they are wearing whites. So these whites also made the picture, because if you are seeing them in colorful saris, then it won't be a minimal style of composition, right? So this is because they were wearing white, and the subtle you can feel those subtle style, so it is there. So when we go out as a photographer, and we always need our profile pictures to for your bio or for publishing. So see how I'm looking in my profile, which is again a minimalistic style of composition, where it's like gray and deep green, and then black I'm wearing. So again, if you need to see all these things when you go out. And this is again one from Jodhpur. Just a plain wall and a bag hanging on the right. So you can say that if you follow minimalism style of photography or art or music, then you are closer to the fine art, because you are concentrating more on certain subjects. So you will see more from your brain. So attention to detail would be there in your pictures. So all pictures need to have attention of detail in these kind of photography. So any quick queries before the session ends? Please be vocal, and I need to know your quick query on any of the pictures, or you want to know something about the lens or the treatment of the street. ISO is like is keep changing, because it depends on the light, and modern cameras, the ISO capabilities are very good. So okay, so I will recommend one lens also. Like most of the pictures, when we are doing these smaller subjects, so best is to use a prime lens. So zoom give some barrel distortions on the side. So better is like we need to go for a 50mm or 85mm. Both lens work very good in these kind of compositions. Importance of aperture, yeah. Whenever you find that you need more depth of field or even in minimalism, then you can have a 11 aperture. But if you want that depth should be very, very less, then you can work with shallow depth of field, no worry. So it depends on you. It's like photography is expression of self-expression, right? So it's how you see, how you analyze, it's up to you. So don't feel that some books say that you need to do that. I will say that go by your heart. That is important. Best street lens, I told, like 24-70 is very, very universal lens. I'm using it for like over like now 4 years, and it's the best, one of the best lens for all styles of street photography. And I need you everyone to note this out also, so that whenever you are doing photography of minimalism, you need to keep these points in mind, right? So I 7 thoughts which we talked also, I'm repeating. The very first is less is more. So less is more means you need to have less objects in your pictures, Then attention to detail is very, very important. Whatever you are shooting, it need to be crisp and it should get the attention of the viewer. So the light should be striking on that, or maybe the focus area is just very, very precise. Avoid distractions in the background, in the elements in the background, or multiple colors, right? So use of singular color is very important. Like the shot which we seen, like the red chilies all around with the lady picking it up. So it's more of a color, but then no distracting color background. Listen to your heart is like whenever you go out, your heart says like, oh, I need this shot. This composition looks good. So you need to follow that. That is important. And open eyes of your mind is like you need to really work on your vision. So whenever you go out, you find that situations are very ordinary, but then you need to find something extraordinary from that situation. So that is you. And thinking out of the boxes, the pictures which are already done or you have already seen should not be copied again. So you need to refresh your vision all the time. And even after this lockdown, I know every reset has been done already. So it means you need to do justice to your images, right? So this was from the series, and I hope you all enjoyed this session. And you can also tag images, and you can just write back on my Instagram of your queries on the follow-up pictures, and we'll love to see your pictures on the hashtag, so that this could be a follow-up exercise for this session. And as demand says, so we have to leave by a song, and so last but not the least is the final song, and we have just 1 minute left for this session. And I hope you enjoyed this very, very special minimalistic style of photography with minimalism, right? So I'm signing off from the live right now with a final song, and see you next week with a very, very unique topic again. अजीब दास्ता है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, ना वो समझ सके ना हम, अजीब दास्ता है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, या वो समझ सके ना हम, मुबारक तुम्हें के तुम